Welcome back, everybody. Today we'll be running this early 1950s Lindsay locomotive that I have. I have two of them, but this one runs as Alco. So we're running on the upper level with the bridges, and then I'll move it down to the lower levels around the amusement park. All right, let's take a look at that locomotive we ran today. It's, I believe, a 1952 Lindsay locomotive. The only ones I've seen of the 12-axle Alcos. I've seen some 8-axle Alcos they've produced, but these are the only 12 axles I've seen. And they're not really complete. They've been switched around a little bit. So Bob Lindsay had started his company to build these in about 1948 or so. He worked for Varney. He was one of the early employees for Varney and helped Varney build the first of the 462s and the 280s back in the late 30s. And then he went off on his own for a few years and built some locomotives and motors. And then in 1956, Chemtron had bought his company. And they made a lot of detail parts and stuff you'll see over the years, of brass parts and stuff. And they're the ones that bought his company. And they produced it for a while, and then I think it kind of faded out. I'm not sure. But this is all I've been able to find and read on it, and so it may not be 100% accurate. But they're a pretty heavy die-cast shell, and I believe they come with the details, the horns and everything, you know. But these didn't. I found them in a box of locomotives a couple years ago, so they were missing everything. But you can see one truck's powered. That's the motor in there. And then it's got a little drive shaft that runs. So these are your two powered trucks here. Now originally, it would have had two more trucks over here that were powered by a drive shaft that would have ran from here over and would power these two. But for some reason it's gone, and somebody has swapped it out for a dummy set of trucks. But it still runs, and it runs loud. I've cleaned it really well, but this thing was made in 1952, and God knows how long it sat in that box. So, and I added the LED headlight to it just for fun, and then had to put a Katy coupler on it so we could pull a couple cars. I don't know how many cars it would pull. It would probably pull pretty good if we had the original truck that went in here that ran power. So it'd probably pull a little better. But it did run a little loud. And when I originally got these, they were painted some ugly old color. I don't even know what they were. I had stripped them down, put them back to the way they were if you had originally, you know. Because these are solid kits, you had to put them together. So, and paint them yourself. I'll probably end up doing it originally and do it in the Union Pacific paint scheme, I think, before it's done. I like to find some detail parts for it. I don't know. It looks good like that, just up on the shelf, because these things are hard to find. A little bit of history. So, and this one, well, that one there has the power chassis in it. And this one has like a dummy chassis. But somebody had put a power motor in this, and this motor is dead. I cannot. I've tore it apart 5 or 6 times, and I can't. I've cleaned. I've did everything. I cannot get it to go. It just won't go. See, there's got a dummy truck on it too. I believe this one was originally a dummy because it has a little bit different chassis in it. Because it has these bolt-on pieces on both ends of the chassis, which I'll show you in a minute. I'll take this one off and show you. But I think this one was originally a dummy. That was a powered, and somebody had an extra motor and tried to make this one powered, but it don't run. So let me take this one apart, kind of give you a look at the inside. I ain't gonna take that one apart, but I'll just take this one apart. Well, I got that chassis out of that dummy locomotive, the locomotive that doesn't run. Pretty simple. There's just one bolt. Goes through the bottom, goes to the chassis, and bolts into the shell there. That's the only thing that holds it. So they're pretty heavy. And we'll take a look at the motor. There's the motor, and it's got a shaft. And then this is a geared axle, and geared axle here. This one is just in there. It's got a drive shaft runs in between them. So originally, from what I understand, this would have been a geared axle and a geared axle there too, with no motor. It just had a drive shaft that would have ran across there and connected them all, made them all like powered. And this one's missing. I think this was originally a dummy. I can tell by the chassis because it doesn't have the original bends in it like that one does for the humps for the gearboxes for clearance. So, but I think somebody has played with these before, and probably why this doesn't run. Somebody's been in it before and did something. I'm not sure, and you'll never get parts for that. The only way you get lucky is if you find one somewhere and use it for parts. But they're missing all the details, the screens for there, and the windows, horns, and I don't know what else it's supposed to have. Handrails maybe and stuff. I do know there's a piece that goes in around the headlight area here, like this one has. At least we got that. That's a little turn. I'll have to straighten it up, but it's a little. It's not straight. But it just clipped right in there, so it's easy to move if I need to. I was originally going to paint these Union Pacific Alco colors. I think I'd probably end up just leaving them the way they are, and just put them in the cabinet to look at. They pull it out every once in a while, make sure it still runs. So I'd like to find the original power truck that goes to this, and then I can put that one, take that motor out, and then make this a dummy unit, and then have a powered unit. That's the plan, if we ever find parts for it. So, like I said, I probably won't paint them or nothing. But they're heavy. Heavy, really don't need no weights or nothing in it. I don't know how much they weigh. I would say easy couple pounds. Altogether, they probably weigh 2 or 3 pounds. So that does have to be a strong motor to pull that thing. Especially if you put some, a dozen cars behind it. So, also, just finished up this thing. Let's see here. Virginia and Ohio, SD9, road number 284. I'm still working on it. I gotta get the couplers and stuff on it. So, other than that, I think that's all I got left to do. I gotta clean the chassis and oil it, and then put the couplers on. Now I think it'll be done. But, well, I hope everybody enjoyed this video on these old Lindsay locomotives. I believe they're kind of rare. I haven't seen but a few on eBay. I haven't seen any in real life except for these ones. So I found these at a train show. It took me a little while to figure out what they were. But these are the only ones I've actually ever seen in real life. Now another thing that's kind of cool is this old magazine, August 1956, Railroad Model Craftsman, has an ad for Lindsay products in here. And you can see it right up there in the corner. Just a little description about the Alco locomotive they sold. It says HO Alco 1600 horse diesel road locomotive kit. It says all metal construction, power unit is fully assembled, track tested and ready to run, and the price was $13.95. So I guess they did come ready to run. From what I've seen on some internet sites, that look like they came in kits. But I think they offered a powered unit and a dummy unit. So I think originally that's what these were, and somebody's played with them. So I hope you all enjoyed this video, and thanks for watching.